So that would be Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. And I read that when I was in graduate school. I was working full time and I was in school full time. I was a newlywed, so I was incredibly overwhelmed and I had never listened to an audiobook before. And so I needed this, I needed to get this. It's a novel. And so I had read the first couple chapters and went, I'm going to try an audiobook because it's written all in the diction of the South 1930s Southern Black woman. And so I had a hard time with it. And so it's performed by Ruby Dee. And that audiobook, when I tell you it changed my life, it's not being, I'm not over exaggerating. I had never heard a text. I had thought that I had a photographic memory. I had thought that I would just take notes on things and I would memorize them. And I realized that I absolutely have an audio memory. I have an audiographic memory. And so I listened to things. And so plot points stuck with me, character names of people that I would never remember from books 20 books ago. If I listen to the audiobook, I'll remember their names and I'll understand, I remember the flow of conversation, how the punctuation translates into that character's performance, into that actor's performance. So audiobooks, that book opened an entire world of auditory processing and multiple literacies. It changed my degree. The degree I pursued changed after I started listening to audiobooks. So now I'm that person that listens to 3 to 5 audiobooks a week, and I just love them. Love them. Oh, okay. So there's so much prep that goes into it. And so I like meeting when I'm working with indie authors. I love that I get to meet them over Zoom like this, not typically in person. But so I really like getting to know the author and their process and talking about, okay, so this character is a minor character in book 1, but they become huge in book 5. So, I'm really passionate that they get a good representation from the 6 lines they have in book 1. So that part of the prep is fun and engaging when I actually get to meet the author and feel their passion. But the work alone, like just when I am narrating and I hit a flow, because it takes, the first day is always when you start recording, you've done all this prep, it still is my slowest day. I get the least amount of output because I'm still fine tuning and tweaking how I hear the voices, how I perceive some of the characters when they have really small dialogue sections. So meeting with the authors is probably one of my favorites, and then the actual execution when the book is finished and I wrap it and go, you know what? I did a good job. I did a good job on that one. I can be proud of it and I can hand it to my author and say, I'm really proud of this. I hope you love it as much as I do. And it's I'm lucky in that normally it works out that way. So no. I mean, there are certain characters and books that I have loved. I mean, if I have some of my, just because I do so much fantasy, I love my kick-ass heroine. I love a heroine that just, she comes and she doesn't, she's not damselly, she doesn't, but she also has, her found family or her cadre that come up behind her, or she may have the love interest that is her partner. So I guess I have a type, an archetype, but not a specific character. I mean, if I had to pick one, I'd be like, oh, well, there's one for this sapphic romance that I just think she's incredible. But the one for when she's dark and morally black, I've got this character, this book in mind. So no, I cannot name a single character, but I can say that for every genre, I have an archetype, and it's usually the ones I don't sound very damselly as a person. This is my normal speaking voice. And so when I really put it on for my dark heroines, I like it. I like it. I mean, 100 years is not that far anymore because, there was indoor plumbing, but I don't want disease. I don't, I love Outlander, but I didn't actually get all the right shots because they had been eradicated by the time I was alive. So I'm not going to the past. I will go 100 years in the future, see my daughter grow, live her entire life, look at my grandbabies, watch their majority of their lives. So I will see that and hopefully, enjoy the future that we're leaving for them. Yeah. As much as I love a golden retriever, I do love them. No, I want Morley Gray. It's big, especially for fantasy. For me as a person, as a reader, I like them. I like them gray. I like them gruff. I don't mind enemies to lovers. I prefer fated mates that could start as enemy to lover. So, but generally, I like a fight in them. I want them defensive of, they can be defensive of each other. That works even better for me. But no, I will read as a palate cleanser, I will read those lighter golden retriever boys and I love them. But if I had to pick, no, I want them dark. I want them grumpy.